This is the 12-volt DC receiver and remote control for our louvered roof product lines. This allows the user to control up to 4 motors on a single remote control, and a toggle button on the remote allows for on and off light control. The receiver also features options to switch between continuous and latched mode, as well as overcurrent cutoffs. There are two 12-volt power input terminals. This is the negative terminal, and this is the positive terminal. There are 4 sets of 12-volt motor output terminals. Each set corresponds to a motor labeled M1, M2, M3, and M4. There is also a set of terminals for the 12-volt lighting output. Finally, if needed, there are a set of terminals for switch inputs for manual control. Here's how to wire up the receiver. At this point, your motors should already be mounted to the unit, and you should run a set of 2 wires from each motor back to where the receiver will be mounted. Mark the negative wire of each set with tape at the receiver end. First, to wire a motor, locate the first set of motor output terminals, loosen the screws on the terminals, and push your first set of motor wires underneath the terminal plates. Make sure your marked negative wire corresponds with the negative output terminal. Retighten the screws to secure. Repeat these steps for each motor. If applicable, you will have a single set of wires run to your 12-volt lights. Locate this set of wires and secure it to the light output terminals using the same method as for the motor terminals. Finally, you will connect a positive and negative 12-volt power wire to the input terminals. The other end of these should be connected to the provided transformer or battery, but do not provide power to the receiver until you have finished wiring. It is recommended to use ring terminals for the receiver connections, but in this case, we are wrapping the wire around the terminal. If you do this, wrap the wire clockwise around the terminal, unscrew the nut on the terminal labeled ground, and connect the negative wire. Similarly, unscrew the nut of the terminal labeled positive and connect the positive wire. If these wires are the wrong way around, the receiver will not power on. So make sure they are connected to the corresponding positive and negative outputs on the transformer or battery. The remote control has a set of up and down buttons for each of the motor outputs on the receiver. It also has an up and down button to control all 4 motors at the same time. This single light button toggles the lights on and off. Connect power to the receiver's power wires. A red LED on the receiver will flash on, then turn off to confirm power has been connected. To test the motors, press and hold the up button for each motor. Make sure all the motors move in the same desired direction. If any are incorrect, swap the wires around on the output terminals to change the direction. Pressing and holding the button to operate means the receiver is in continuous mode. This is the mode you want to use for the geared motor, which looks like this. However, for the linear motor, we want to switch to latched mode. To do this, locate the 4 rocker switches on the receiver. Push each of them to the alternative setting. This time, when you push the up button on the remote, observe that you do not need to hold the button down. Instead, push to start and push again to stop. To test the light output, press the button labeled Light on the remote. Press again to turn off. To enable control of the motors and other devices from a smartphone or other smart device, you need to set up the Bond Bridge Pro. The Bond Bridge communicates wirelessly with a range of devices, including the motor receiver you just wired up. The bridge should be installed as close as possible to the motor receiver, whilst keeping it inside the home and in range of a strong Wi-Fi signal. It has a range of around 30 feet. The room directly across from the pergola could be ideal. Begin by unboxing the bridge, which is the white box, along with the USB cable, plug, the USA adapter, and hardware bag. Assemble the plug by lining up the USA adapter with the slots and rotating clockwise until it clicks. Push one end of the USB cable into the plug and the other into the port on the back of the bridge. Note the location of the QR code on the back of the bridge, as this will be useful later. To begin setting up the bridge, first download the Bond Home app from the App Store onto your phone. Create an account and password. Use the homeowner's email address, as they will eventually take possession of the account. You will also need to know the homeowner's Wi-Fi details, including their password. Plug the bridge into an outlet and wait until the green circle begins to flash. Open the Bond Home app and press the plus button. Select Scan QR Code. Turn the bridge over and scan the QR code we located earlier. We will go through the setup for Wi-Fi, but select Ethernet if you have an Ethernet cord. Confirm the bridge is flashing green and press Continue. You will be prompted to join a network. Press Join. Give the bridge a name and region and press Continue. Select the homeowner's Wi-Fi network and enter their password. Note, if you do not see their Wi-Fi network, it could be because they have a 5G-only router. IoT devices like this need a 4G connection. This can be enabled on the homeowner's Wi-Fi router settings, but is usually on by default. There will be a short wait whilst the bond connects. If at any point you are prompted to update firmware, proceed with this update. The setup is now complete, and you can return to the Devices menu. Select Settings inside the Bond Home app and select Firmware channel. Change this from Stable to Beta. Return to the Devices menu. The bridge is now ready to pair to devices. To pair the bridge to the louver motors, select the plus button. Under Devices, press Shades, Roofs, Screens, and Awnings. Select the bridge you just set up. The onboard branding should take you directly to the louver motors. Select the motor, give it a name, for example, Bay 1, and press Continue. At this stage, you will need the remote control that came with the motor receiver. When ready, press the Start button. The bridge will start flashing blue. Hold the remote close to the bridge and briefly press the up button on the channel you want to control. The bridge light will turn green when it receives the signal. Test the motor by pressing the Open button on the app. Press again to stop. Press the Close button to test the other direction. Press again to stop. Once tested, press Done. Press Done again to return to the Devices menu. You will need to repeat these steps for each motor. To pair the light control, press the plus button, scroll down and select Light. Press No, my device is not smart. Select the bridge, press Other, give it a name, and press Continue. Select Toggle Light, press Advanced, select the frequency, enter 340, and press Done. Press Save. Pick up the receiver's remote again and press Start when ready. Hold the remote close to the bridge and briefly press the light button on the remote. The bridge will turn green when it receives the signal. Test the light by pressing the toggle light button. Press again to test that it turns off. Press Yes, it works if successful. Press Continue. Test the light again using the toggle light button to ensure it turns on and off. If this does not work as expected, re-record the signal. If it is out of sync, for example, turning on the light on in the app actually turns it off. Press the light button on the receiver's remote to correct it. Select the devices from the menu to test each of them. The Bond Breeze is a weather sensor that can detect a range of inputs such as wind, rain, and sun, and report these wirelessly to the Bond Bridge. The Breeze comes with a 12-volt power cable that looks like this. To use onboard temperature sensors, the unit will need to be powered using this cable. Alternatively, the Breeze can make use of its onboard solar panel and some batteries to power the unit completely wirelessly. If hardwiring, assemble the power connector by lining up the pins on the two connectors and pushing the two firmly together. Tighten the connectors together to secure. Provide a 12-volt power supply from the provided transformer for the motor receiver and connect this to these wires, ensuring the correct polarity. Alternatively, to install the batteries, locate the cover to the battery compartment. Unscrew this and remove the cover. Install the batteries and replace the cover. Screw the cover back down until flush with the rest of the unit. Observe the blue light flashing on top of the Breeze, indicating that it now has power. Open the Bond Home app and go to the Devices menu. Press the plus button, scroll down and select Breeze Pro. Select the bridge, press Scan QR code and scan the QR code on the side of the Breeze. Confirm the blue light is flashing on top and press Continue. Locate the button labeled CAL on the underside of the center body of the sensor. Do not press it yet. Once located, press Start on the app and then press the CAL button. Give the sensor a name and press Continue. Enable the functions you wish to get from the sensor. Set the desired threshold. To trigger a paired device based on a sensor input, press Link a device to be triggered. For example, to have the roof close when it rains, we will select Link a device under the Rain option, select the motors which we wish to activate, and then select the function, in this case Close. Return to the previous screen and press Test Trigger to test the function. Press Simulate and observe the linked device to confirm it responds as expected. Once configured, press Save and press Done to return to the device's menu. Another Bond device which can be paired to the bridge is the Bond Sidekick. This device is a wireless switch panel that can be mounted to a wall or post. Each of its buttons can be linked to a device paired to the bridge. To get started, unbox the Sidekick from its packaging. You should have the wall panel itself, a set of alternative buttons, a hardware kit, and a small lithium button battery. Push on the corners of the control panel to pop it out of its cover. Slide the control panel upward to remove it from the backing plate. Pry open the front and back of the control panel to access the inside. Ensuring the correct orientation, push the button battery into the battery clip. Press one of the buttons on the front of the panel to confirm it now has power. It should light up green to confirm. Reassemble the control panel by pushing the front and back together. Open the Bond Home app on the device's menu. Press the plus button and scroll down. Select the bridge. Press and hold the top button on the control panel until the app moves on. Give it a name and press Continue. Select the Sidekick from the device's menu. Press Link Channel to a shade to link devices to a button on the control panel. Here, you select the motors you want to assign and then press Continue. Test the functionality by selecting the button on the control panel and then pressing the up or down buttons to operate. To stop, press the same arrow button again. Within the Bond Home app, you can also set up scenes and schedules. Scenes are when you group a set of devices together. To begin, select Scenes. Give it a name and press Add Group or Device. Select the devices you want to group together in a scene. Select the function for each device that will occur when the scene is activated, and press Save. Press Done when complete. Press Create Scene. Press Done when complete. To test the scene, press the play icon next to the scene's name. Confirm it operates as expected. To set up a schedule, select Schedules inside the app. Press Add Schedule and select the devices or scenes you want to create a schedule for. Select When and choose a time you want the schedule to activate. Select What and choose a function for the device. Select the repetition and time zone for the schedule. For this example, we have set the schedule to occur in the next minute. When it reaches the appointed time, the schedule activates.